The Jane and Finch community of Toronto sees the most number of gun shootings in Canada. Reverend Starr created Out of Bounds to deal with the violence. She lives in the neighborhood. Reverend Sky, 64 people shot in your community last year. How is your neighborhood coping?
It's just terrible. Mothers and families and youth are just struggling. We're always in crisis.
You, as part of Out of Bounds has been grief and trauma counseling for you. You see the aftermath in church. What's happening?
People need to find a space where they can reach out, where they can get the support that they need. When, in the community, like, we respond to crisis right on spot, so they know that I'm there, they know where to find me, and they just come to find me when they need to.
And the ripple effect socially, it's not like you think, okay, that headline's gone, but tell us just what continues in the community.
Wow. Well, the trauma continues. Youth are struggling in school, truancy, not able to cope, not able to keep up with their schoolwork. Mothers who have children who have died are struggling to manage. Most of them can't go to work. Some of them just can't get up out of bed sometimes. So it's just, it's affecting everywhere. The churches, the community centers, the schools, and in the neighborhood in general.
So we've heard about community building, neighborhood building. If tax dollars were to flow, $6 million were spent in Toronto just alone on prevention, what would you like to see?
I would love to see them recognize the need. There's a need. There's an epidemic in our community. There's a need for health care. There's a need for support for youth and families. There's a need for the traumatic care. They have to recognize grief and trauma, gun violence trauma, as a mental health issue. I would love to see that happen.
People don't go back to their jobs sometimes. Kids don't go back to school.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're going to put these pieces together, what does a family need to recover?
They need the ongoing support. Usually everybody comes out when there's a shooting. After the funeral, everybody goes back to their lives. The mothers are there to deal and to pick up the pieces. They can't cope. The youth can't go to school. They cannot function. They need ongoing care. They need education. They need health support. They need continuous care. This is not like an 8-hour incident or a 3-day or 3-month incident. It's a lifelong incident.
And what does the church bring to it? You've created a community church. What at the best of operations, what can a church family do?
God is there. Like, when people need hope, especially then, God is there. So people know to find, when I'm on spot, they know that our Reverend Sky is here. They know that I'm there. And they find me when they need the help. For many of the families who don't have a minister, I get to do the funeral. So I get to do this special part of speaking to people and saying, one of these days you're going to be there. Are you ready? And to give them God's love, to share God's love and God's grace to them.
Well, we wish you all the best as you are front line in Canada's biggest neighborhood affected most by gun violence. Reverend Sky Starr, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hit subscribe and the notification bell to get our weekly episodes and web exclusives.